Well, good morning, everyone out there, and thank you so much for joining us for our first edition of Community Chat. This is a platform that we have established to help promote awareness about holistic health. We want to not just help you understand that you need physical health, but you also need emotional, spiritual, and financial health. And you must conquer all four of these things simultaneously if you want to have the highest level of success possible. So this morning, we are so excited because we have our Enteros Big Three community partner, Christian Simpson. He is a personal injury attorney, focuses in Virginia. He helps individuals who have been hurt in car accidents that were not their fault. And we know that that could definitely be a very stressful time, to go through something like that. And it can impact your physical, but not just your physical, your mental and emotional state as well. So we're just excited to hear what attorney Big Al, Christian Simpson, has to say. So, Christian, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, would you mind telling our listeners out there a little bit about how did you get started?
Yeah, for sure. Like so many folks who, finish law school, they end up seeking out maybe a big firm because they think, wow, that's the place where the big money is going to be. And, especially if you're in a situation like myself, I borrowed money to get through graduate school. And so it was definitely the case where I thought, man, I got to make some money to pay off this money that I've borrowed. But that said, I went to a firm that had me doing medical malpractice defense work, and I chose the firm, because they had good people there. Even though it was a larger firm, I thought they had good work-life balance in general, and so I was there for about 6 years. Started off doing the medical malpractice defense, and then ended up doing employment and labor law up in Baltimore, Maryland. But ultimately, I got out of the practice. Things were going well there, but got out of the practice because I wanted to explore being a sports agent. I had played sports in college and professionally a little bit, and thought, man, that sort of marries all the things that I'm interested in to go this route. And that was a 2-year journey that didn't end the way that I first envisioned, but I learned a lot, and I ended up at a law firm that represented individuals who had whistleblower claims, which is something under the False Claims Act, and they basically are saying, hey, someone's defrauding the government, right? In some way, shape, or form, they're stealing money from the government. That was my first taste of representing individuals and not corporations or big money interests, and that really was what started it for me in terms of the idea of wow, this is where you have real impact, where you're helping an individual, and you can see where they started when they're trying to address something that went wrong, to hopefully the finish line where you've assisted them in getting to a better place. Now, it's a civil practice, so ultimately you're getting them money. But I think what excited me about changing who I represented was more so the fact that you just have more of a tangible result with an individual. You get a personal connection with that client, and so that's how I got started. I always thought to myself, if I have a chance to control my own destiny in terms of having my own shop, then that's where I want to be. And so back in 2015, some opportunities came my way, and I said, all right, this is it. I'm going to take my shot here and start my own practice, and that's how it all began.
Wow, that is so awesome. So, you started in a place where you thought you wanted to do one thing, and then you ended up coming across some experiences that kind of align with your purpose, huh?
Yeah, certainly. And, everybody is on, their own personal and professional journey. I have the privilege of serving as a mentor to some kids from my old college, as well as from, the law school that I graduated from, William and Mary, over in Williamsburg, Virginia. And I tell them all the time, sometimes you're just, surviving as you first get out of school, trying to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do and where you want to be. And so, there's just such an emphasis, I think, on people saying, oh, I know exactly what I want to do. And, oh, this individual over here has already achieved, amazing success. And here I am still sort of toiling away. But my view is, we're all on different journeys, and you just have to trust that whatever position you're in, you're learning as much about that work, but also as much about yourself as you possibly can, because that's going to serve you well going forward in terms of knowing, okay, this is a good fit for me. This is where I need to be.
That is so awesome. And for all of you guys that are just tuning in, we are here with our Hampshire Big Three TikTok Battle community chat, where we are promoting holistic health throughout the entire Hampton Roads community. And we're interviewing with our community partner, Christian Simpson, aka Attorney Big Al. If anyone out there has been through, you know, a personal injury through some fault that's not of their own, Christian, how does your company differentiate your services to help people?
Well, there are plenty of good attorneys out there, and I'm the first to acknowledge that. I think what we try to do and what I try to do is make sure that we're accessible, first and foremost to the people that reach out to us and trust us with their case. For me, it's interesting. Sometimes we have situations where we'll get a phone call and it's a client or a potential client, I should say, that has already hired a lawyer, and they're not happy in that situation. And I typically ask them why they're seeking out new counsel. Many times, what we hear is that after signing the agreement to work with a lawyer or a firm, it's just hard for them to get in touch with the lawyer. So, we are set up like most firms, and that you're going to have a point person, a case manager, so to speak, that's working your case primarily. But myself, my associate attorney, we give out the cell phone number, and that is a standard part of what we do and how we operate, because I found that in situations where there's miscommunication or maybe not enough communication, and folks get busy, sometimes a call gets missed, etc., or you may just need to speak with the lawyer directly because it's a specific legal issue that your paralegal or case manager can't address. It's nice to know that they can just call me, right? Or I tell them usually to text me, because I do take so many calls, but you text me, I'm able to shoot a quick message. Hey, I'll call you in a minute or 15 minutes or whatever. And that's how we differentiate ourselves from other folks. We try to just be accessible and give a high level of personalized service to people that trust us with these very important matters.
Wow. So for you guys, I want to know that he's not kidding, because I actually met him by calling him on his cell phone and he picked it up. So he's definitely accessible. He's here to help. He really is the type of person that he's going to listen to you and not just, make you another number. And that's something that's very important, because when you're already dealing with a troubling time, you want to sit down with someone that you feel is going to hear you. Everybody wants to be heard. Everyone wants to be understood. And one thing we can say with, you know, uh, 1-800-HURT-123. They definitely do that, and they set the bar high. So thank you. Um, so when do you think is the best time for a person who has been in some sort of accident? Because let's just be clear, it's not a car accident that you can get in. There's other times you might be in a store and, you might end up falling or something if the store doesn't have the appropriate, protection in place for you, or other situations, where you're out. There's different scenarios when you could get into an accident and have a personal injury, right? So when is the best time for a person to reach out to someone like yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. And what I tell people is, the sooner the better, honestly. I mean, with car accidents, call me from the scene, because one of the things that folks fail to recognize, or maybe be aware of, and I don't blame them. If you're a normal person, you're not getting into an accident once a week, right? I mean, you're getting into an accident once or twice in your life. So I don't expect people to know this, but it's one of the reasons that I'm, constantly preaching the gospel of, as soon as it occurs, call us at 1-800-HURT-123. And the reason for that is, one, I want to make sure that, people's rights are protected right from the get-go. And, if you're already speaking to the insurance company for for the driver that hit you, for example, they are going to sound very nice, very solicitous. But what you don't understand is that they really don't want to pay money on your claim. And so they're going to ask some questions in a way that seem like they're, innocent questions, but really what they're trying to do is set you up, right? So perfect example of that, and this happens, however many thousands of times a day. That insurance adjuster who has found out about the accident that their driver caused, calls you up. At this point, you don't have a lawyer, so they can talk to you directly, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about what happened. How are you doing? Are you okay?" Well, most people instinctively, right, the natural reaction is to say, "Oh, I'm fine." Well, you know, that is not going to help, because they are recording that conversation. And so for a lot of people, you get into the accident, the adrenaline is flowing, because of the trauma, and it will mask a lot of, initial injuries and pain that you might feel. So you're being honest and saying, well, shoot, I'm just happy that, I can still get on the phone and talk to somebody here. That collision was really crazy and scary, and all these other things. And then you end up going to the hospital to get checked out. It turns out the next day when you wake up, you feel like been rolled in a barrel, and just tossed out afterwards. And now you're looking for help, right? You're looking for, for a place to go get some care. Well, remember that conversation that you had with the insurance company at the beginning that seemed so innocent. They're going to pull that out against you and say, wait a second, you're getting medical care now? You told us you were fine, when the accident took place. And we have you on, we've recorded that. Are you changing your story now because you have a lawyer? Did the lawyer tell you to say, you see where I'm going with it. And so that's why as soon as possible, I want folks to reach out, call the number, call 1-800-HURT-123, because I don't want you to be in that situation where all of a sudden you've got to explain yourself, for something that you didn't really understand, at the beginning.
Wow. You just gave us some jewels out there. I, never even thought about that. You're right. When people do ask you, how are you? Even if you're not feeling good, most of the time we say, oh, okay, I'm okay.
Right.
So I
It's
hope that you
natural. It's
guys
natural.
are really honing in on this because you're already going to be in an emotional state. You're already going to be out of wit, so to speak. And then you have people that are coming in a very cunning way that are trying to manipulate your emotional state. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for letting us know that we need to reach out as soon as it occurs. You also had said something about you want to make sure that people's rights are protected. Could you tell us, in short, what exactly do you mean by making sure their rights are protected in that situation?
Yeah, I'm glad you followed up on that. So, one of the things that I'm always concerned about is, if folks are having those conversations already with insurance companies, you may have a claim. That's one of the reasons you call, right? You call, you call 1-800-HURT-123 to see, do I have a case? Someone hit me, or I slipped and fell in the grocery store, what have you. Do I have a case? Well, you may, but you may also have hurt the case, or even lost the case entirely based on your conversation with an insurance company right after the incident takes place. And so when I talk about protecting rights, I want to make sure first and foremost that your communications with that insurance company in most situations is one that doesn't put you at a disadvantage. And then if you do have a case, a good case, there may be things depending on the severity of the accident or the incident that we need to do right away. Maybe in terms of investigation. If it's a really serious accident with a tractor trailer, for example, there are things we need to do to preserve evidence, electronic data that's recorded in those trucks, and we want to get to that as soon as possible in order to make sure that that we're able to get all that we need to prove your case down the line. So yeah, that's the reason that I'm very, very strong on saying to folks, the earlier you call, the better. I've taken calls where I tell people you don't have a case, right? Or this is something where you can probably handle it yourself. So it's not like every single call that comes in, we automatically say, oh, come along and we'll just kind of figure it out later. Sometimes I'm happy to give advice and say, you can handle this on your own, but it's good that you called, because now where you stand.
Thank you for that transparency, because people out here need help when they are already dealing with situations where they're not familiar, and there are people out there that are sharks trying to take advantage of them. They need to know that they can have someone that they can call that's not just going to, try to take their money and be all about, running to court, but someone is going to be honest with them and tell them if it's a situation that's really something that they can do on their own and give advice. That's powerful. We appreciate you so much. It's men like you, Christian, that allow us to just live and have a place in Hampton Roads where we can know that we don't have to worry. There are good people out there. A lot of people want to focus their energy on the bad. Well, we know that bad exists, but we don't have to focus on it. And so we want to thank you. We're going to be, going live on March 20th, and we hope that you and your family can join us for our TikTok battle. It's going to be awesome. And for all of you guys out there, it's going to take place on March 20th, 2021 at 12 p.m. We're going to be live, and we're going to be watching our children between the ages of 10 and 17 battle it out for a $500 educational scholarship. Now, it's not too late to register. The registration is ending on March the 5th. So if you have a child in that age range that want to participate, you can call us at 1-844 to up FICO. Again, that's 1-844 the number 2 up FICO, and we'll be more than happy to help you get registered. It's free. You don't have to pay anything to register your child. And the event itself is free. Our whole mission is to just move, speak, and live for a purpose. We want our children to know that they are wonderful, they are excellent. This pandemic has made it difficult to, socialize and to stay in touch. So we just want to offer a platform where we can come together while being socially safe and give our children, opportunity to fund their future educational expenses. So again, guys, March 20th is going down. We will be back tomorrow for our second edition of Community Chat, where we will be speaking to another community partner, Mr. Marcus Ellis. He is a real estate agent down here in the Hampton Roads community and far. He is a veteran and he has a very interesting story he's going to share with us. So please make sure you tune in tomorrow. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like our pages and follow us so that you can stay in the loop with what's going on. Christian, what are your final words that you want to leave with our audience out there today?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for hosting, this program and for being a positive voice in the community. I don't think there can ever be too many of those. And in terms of how I view my role in the community, it certainly is more than just legal services. It's making sure that our community has someone that knows their experiences and not just looks like them, but knows what they've been through and can represent them at a high level. And so, in terms of these situations, these traumatic events, I want to make sure that folks know that I tell my staff, this challenge that comes to us when people are in a situation where they've been in an accident that they didn't ask for, is an opportunity for us, to show our humanity first and foremost, to be compassionate and understanding, and then to show our professionalism on the back end. So again, thank you for hosting this program, and I hope that there are other folks that get to show how good we can be.
Absolutely. Well, guys, you heard it here live this morning. Attorney Big Al, Christian Simpson, 1-800-HURT-123. Make sure you keep him in mind for all of your personal injury needs. Guys, I tell you, moves don't make themselves. If you want something different, you have to do something different. And just know that as long as you're moving towards your purpose and you're moving with the right kind of energy, you don't have to worry about being alone, because alone we are limited, but together we are limitless. So let's continue to move together. Let's speak together and let's live together with a purpose. Until the next time, this is your girl, Serena Mann, aka the Credit Doctor of VA.